Oh, you're here. When I went to your house in Komso, the wooden gate facing the beach was broken and the bedroom door was locked. It must have been empty for a long time. Why did you lock the bedroom like that but leave the kitchen door wide open? The ocean wind had banged the wooden door open and shut so many times that it was half shattered. But why are you in hospital? And what is the doctor doing? He's not making you better. He keeps asking you silly questions. He keeps asking you your name. Why is he doing that? And why aren't you telling him your name? All you have to say is 이은규. So why are you not answering, making him ask again and again? Really, why is the doctor doing that? Now he's holding a toy boat and asking, do you know what this is? Is this a joke? It's a boat. What does he mean? Do you know what this is? But the strangest thing is you. Why aren't you answering? Oh, you really don't know? You mean you have forgotten what your name is? You don't know what the toy boat is? Really? The doctor is asking you. Your age? 100. No, please tell me how old you are. 200. You're really being grumpy. Why do you say you are 200 years old? You're 5 years younger than me, so that makes you. The doctor asks your name again. 신구. Please think carefully. 백일섭. The actor 신구? The television actor 백일섭? Are you talking about the 신구 and 백일섭 that I like? Please don't do that. Think and tell us what it is. You are sniffling. What is going on? Why are you here? And why are you being asked these silly questions? Why are you crying, unable to answer these easy questions? I've never seen you cry before. I was always the one who cried. You saw me cry so many times, but this is the first time I'm seeing you cry. Now, please tell me your name again. You're quiet. One more time. 박소녀. That's not your name. That's mine. I remember the day you asked me what my name was. You lie in my heart like an old road. You lie in my heart like an old road, like the pebbles in a pebble field, dirt in dirt, dust in dust, cobwebs in cobwebs. I was young then. I don't think I ever thought I was in my youth when I was living in. But if I think about when I first met you, I can see my youthful face. One late afternoon, I was walking home from the mill on the new avenue, kicking up dust, my nickel basin filled with flour on my head. My youthful footsteps were quick. I was on my way home to make dough out of the flour and cook dough, flake soup to feed the children. The mill was 4 or 5 li away across the bridge. My forehead was sweaty from the flour-filled nickel basin. You passed by me on a bicycle, then stopped along the road and called, "Excuse me." I kept walking, looking straight ahead. My breast was about to pop out my 저고리, which I was wearing with baggy trousers. Put down that basin and give it to me. I'll carry it for you on my bicycle. How can I trust a stranger passing by and give this to you? I said, but my youthful steps slowed. Actually, the basin was so heavy that my head felt like it would be crushed. I'd made a cushion out of a towel and put it under the basin, but I still felt as if my forehead and the bridge of my nose were going to collapse. I'm not carrying anything on my bike. Where do you live? In the village across the bridge. There's a shop at the entrance to the village, right? I'll leave it there for you. So give it here and walk more freely. It looks so heavy, and here I am on a bicycle, carrying nothing. If you just put that basin down, you'll be able to walk faster and get home quicker. I looked at you as you got off your bicycle, and I bit down on the end of the towel hanging by my face, the towel I'd placed on my head under the basin. Compared with Hyungchal's father, you were plain looking, both then and now. You were pale, like you had never worked a day in your life, and your long horse-like face and drooping eyes weren't all that handsome. Your thick, straight eyebrows made you look honest. Your mouth made you seem respectable and trustworthy. Your eyes, gazing at me quietly, were familiar, as if I'd seen them somewhere before. When I didn't immediately give you the basin and instead studied your face, you turned to get back on your bicycle. I don't have a hidden motive. I just wanted to help out because it looked so heavy. I can't force you to let me help you if you don't want me to. You placed a foot on the sturdy pedal of your bicycle. That was when I hurriedly thanked you and handed over the basin from my head. I watched as you undid the thick rubber ties on the back of the bicycle and secured the basin with them. So I'll leave it at the shop. You raced down the avenue. You, a man I just met, carrying my children's food. I took off the towel wrapped around my head and slapped the dust off my trousers and watched you and your bicycle disappear. Dust rose and clouded you and your bicycle, so I rubbed my eyes and watched you get smaller. I felt relieved, the weight on my head gone. I walked along the avenue, swinging my arms lightly. A pleasant breeze passed through my clothes. When was the last time I'd walked home with nothing in my hands, on my head, or on my back? I looked up at the birds flying in the dusky sky, hummed a song I used to sing with my mother when I was young, and headed towards the shop. I looked for the basin from far away. I looked at the door at the shop as I approached it, but the basin that should have been by the door wasn't there. Suddenly, my heart started beating fast. I walked faster, and I was afraid to ask the woman at the store, "Did anyone leave a basin for me? If you had, I would have seen it already, but I couldn't find it." My towel in my hand, I ran towards the shopkeeper, who stared at me, wondering what was going on. I realized it only then. You had stolen my children's dinner from me. Tears filled my eyes. Why did I give my basin to a man I'd never seen before, trusting you? What was I thinking? Why did I do that? I can still feel the dread when my momentary nervousness at seeing your bicycle disappear became reality. I couldn't go home empty-handed. I had to find that basin with flour no matter what. I remember that scraping noises I heard that morning when I scooped up grain in the shed for breakfast. I couldn't give up when I knew there was enough flour in the basin for 10 days' meals. I just kept walking, looking for you and your bicycle. Though you must have sped past the store. I went on and on, asking whoever I met whether they'd seen someone who'd look like you. Your identity was revealed quickly. That was how careless you were. You didn't even live far away. When I found out that you lived in the village that had a tile-roofed house about 5 li past our village, before the road reached town, I started running. I would be able to get back all of the flour in the basin if I reached you before you used it. When I discovered your bicycle in front of run-down house at the foot of a hill between paddies, down the road from the entrance to your village, I ran into your house screaming, "Ah!" And then I saw it all, your elderly mother sitting on the old porch with her sunken eyes, your 3-year-old sucking on his finger, and your wife in the middle of a difficult birth. I'd come to retrieve the basin you'd stolen from me. Instead, I grabbed a pot off the wall in the dark and narrow kitchen. I heated water in it. I pushed you aside since you didn't know what to do and were just hovering next to your wife. And I grabbed her hand. I'd never met her before, but I shouted at her, "Push, push harder." I don't know how much time passed until we heard the baby's cry. Your house didn't have a single strand of seaweed to make seaweed soup for your wife. Your elderly mother was blind and seemed already to be in her way over to the other world. I believed the baby and scooped some flour. I delivered the baby and scooped some flour from my basin and made dough for dough flake soup and ladled it into a few bowls and put some broth into the room where the baby's mother was. How many decades ago was it when I put the basin back on my head and came home? Is that man next to you the baby who was born that day? He's sponging your hand. He gets you to turn over and sponges your back. It's been a long time. Your top neck is now wrinkly. Your thick eyebrows are no longer, and I don't recognize your mouth. Instead of the doctor, it is now your son who says, "Father, what's your name? Do you know what your name is?" Park So-nyo. No, that's my name. Who's Park So-nyo, Father? I'm curious about that too. What am I to you? Who am I to you? 7 or 8 days after I meet you, your situation weighing on my mind, I took a strand of seaweed and stopped at your house, but only the newborn was there, not your wife. You told me that your wife had suffered from 3 days after high fever after the birth, and finally left this world. She was so malnourished she couldn't make it through childbirth. Your blind mother was sitting on the old porch, and it wasn't clear whether she knew what was going on. And the 3-year-old, I suppose that man by your sickbed could be the 3-year-old, not the baby. I don't know who I was to you, but you were my lifelong friend. Who would have known that we would be friends all these years? The first time we met, you made me feel so despondent by stealing the basin with the flour I needed to feed my children. Our children wouldn't understand us. It would be easier for them to understand that hundreds of thousands of people died in the war than to understand you and me. Even though I knew that your wife was gone, I couldn't just leave. So I soaked in water the seaweed I'd brought. I made dough from the remaining flour I'd given you the other day and made dough flake soup with seaweed. I put a bowl for each person on the table and was about to leave, but stopped to put the newborn to my breast. It was a time when I didn't have enough milk for my own daughter. You were going around the village with the baby and feeding him donated breast milk. Life is sometimes amazingly fragile, but some lives are frighteningly strong. My elder daughter says that when you mow down weeds with a tractor, the weeds cling to the wheels of the tractor and spread seeds to breed even at the moment they are being cut. Your baby latched on ferociously. He sucked so hard that I felt I would be sucked in. So I slapped the baby's bottom, which still had traces of redness from his birth. When that didn't work, I had to force him off. A baby who's lost its mother as soon as it's born intuitively doesn't want to let go when it's near a nipple. I laid the baby down and turned to go, and you asked me what my name was. You were the first person since I got married to ask me my name. Suddenly shy, I ducked my head. Park So-nyo. You laughed then. I don't know why I did what I did next, just that I wanted to get you to laugh one more time. Even though you didn't ask, I told you that my older sister's name was Tae-nyo, which means big girl. Our names, little girl and big girl. You laughed again. Then you said your name was Eun-gyu and your elder brother was Geum-gyu, that your brother gave you names containing the words silver and gold, with the hope that you'd earn money and live well, that he called you silver coffer and your brother gold coffer, that perhaps because of that your brother gold coffer lived a tiny bit better than you, silver coffer. That time I laughed. You laughed, watching me laugh. Then or now, you look best when you're laughing, so don't frown like that in front of the doctor. Smile. A smile doesn't cost you any money. Until your baby was 3 weeks old, I went to your house once a day and let the baby suckle. Sometimes it was early morning, sometimes in the middle of the night. Couldn't that have been a burden for you? That was all I did for you. But for 30 days after that, I went to you whenever I hit a difficult patch. I think I started to go to you after what happened to Gyun, because I just wanted to die, because I thought it would be better to die. Everyone else made things difficult for me, only you didn't ask me anything. You told me that any wound healed as time passed, that I shouldn't think about anything, just calmly do what I was supposed to do. If you hadn't been there, I don't know what would have happened to me. I was out of my mind with grief. You were the one who buried my fourth child, the stillborn, in the hills. Now that I think about it, did you move to Komso because I was too much for you? You weren't someone who was meant to live on the coast or work as a fisherman. You were someone who tilled the earth and planted seeds. You were someone who didn't have land of its own and so tilled someone else's. Someone else's. I should have realized when you went to Komso that you left because it was hard for you to put up with me. I see that I was a terrible person to you. It must be that a first meeting is important. I am sure that deep down I always thought you owed me, and I showed it by doing whatever I wanted. Just as I found you after you stole my basin on your bicycle, I found you after you moved to Komso without telling me. You didn't fit in at Komso. You looked out of place and strange, standing by the sea. I can still see the expression on your face at the salty salt fields by the ocean. I was never able to forget the expression, but now that I think of it, maybe your expression was saying, did she manage to find me even here? Komso became a place I couldn't forget because of you. I always came look for you when something happened that I couldn't handle by myself. But when I recovered some peace of my mind, I forgot about you. I thought I forgot about you. When you saw me in Komso, the first thing you said to me, "What's wrong?" To me was, "What's wrong?" I'm only saying this now. When I went to see you then, it was the first time I'd gone just to see you, not because something had happened to me. Except for that one time when you ran off to Komso, you always stayed in the same place until I stopped needing you. Thank you for staying in the same place. I might have been able to go on living because of that. I'm sorry for going to see you every time I felt unsettled, but not even letting you hold my hand. Even though I went to you when it seemed like you were coming to me, I acted unkindly. That wasn't very nice of me. I'm sorry, so sorry. At first it was because I felt awkward, then because I felt we shouldn't, and later it was because I was old. You were my sin and my happiness. I wanted to seem dignified in your eyes. Sometimes I told you stories I said I'd read, but I didn't actually read them. I had asked my daughter and told you about them. Once I told you that there was a place called Santiago in a country named Spain. You kept asking, where did you say it was? Finding it hard to memorize that name, I told you that there was a pilgrimage route there that took 33 days to walk. Jihan wanted to go there. That's why she told me about that place. But I told you about it as if I wanted to go there. When you said, if you want to go so badly, let's go together one of these days. My heart sank when I heard you say that. I think it was after that day that I stopped coming to you. Truthfully, I don't know when that place is, and I don't want to go there. Do you know what happens to all the things we did together in the past? When I asked my daughter this, although it was you I wanted to ask, my daughter said, "It is so strange to hear you say something like that, Mother," and asked, "Wouldn't they have seeped into the present, not disappeared?" What difficult words. Do you understand what that means? She says that all the things that have happened are actually in the present, that all things are all mixed in with current things, and current things mingle with future things, and future things are combined with old things. It's just that we can't feel them, but now I can't go on. Do you think that things happening now are linked to things from the past and things in the future? It's just that we can't feel them? I don't know. Could that be true? Sometimes when I look at my grandchildren, I think that they were dropped out of the blue and that they have nothing to do with me, nothing to do with me at all. Would it have seeped in somewhere? The fact that the bicycle I saw you on when we first met had been stolen, that before you saw me walking down the avenue with the basin of flour on my head, you had planned to sell that stolen bicycle for a strand of seaweed? Or the fact that you ended up not being able to sell the bicycle, so you went to put it back where you found it, but the owner caught you and you got into trouble? Did those events seep into a page of the past and bring us all the way here? I know that after I disappeared, you went out and searched for me. I know that you, a man who had never been to Seoul before, came to Seoul Station and went around on the underground, stopping people who looked like me, and that you went to my house many times, hoping to hear some news about me, that you wanted to meet my children and hear what happened. Is that what made you so ill? Your name is Lee Eun-gyu. When the doctor asks your name again, don't say Park So-nyo. Say Lee Eun-gyu. I will let go of you now. You were my secret. You were in my life, someone whose presence would never be guessed by anyone who knew me, even though nobody knew that you were in my life. You were the person who brought me a raft for every rapid current and helped me cross that water safely. I was happy that you were there. I came to tell you that I was able to travel through my life because I could come to you when I was anxious, not when I was happy. I'm going to go now.